Alright, so today I'm doing my very first redesign from the Soul series. I got asked about doing any type of redesigns from Soul Calibur, and while I guess technically this doesn't apply, yeah, I guess it does. The character that I'm specifically designing today is from Soul Edge. And my reasoning for this is he's actually my favorite character to play with in Soul Edge. And he was replaced immediately after in the subsequent sequels of the Soul Calibur games by Maxi. And I don't like this. Maxi's cool and all, but I don't know, I really like the Li Long character. I thought he was cool. It was like Bruce Lee in a Raiden hat. Like, it was awesome to me. And then the nunchucks had blades on the end of them. Like a young version of me playing those games, you couldn't tell me that he wasn't the coolest fighting game character of all time. Then you beat the game with him and you realize that he's dead. So none of that matters. Anyways, if I'm going to do any Soul redesigns or anything from the Soul series, I figured I had to start out with Li Long. It's just crazy that they can't bring him back in the series, even if it was nothing more than like his son or something like that, or just like say that Maxi's his son. Just in some way, shape, form, or fashion, I don't want it completely ignored that Li Long is gone from the series. Even the fact that it's not Maxi's father, like that's crazy to me. Like he has it's the same moveset almost. At least to me, it plays no different. Like I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like Maxi and Li Long are the same character. But in any event, the character hasn't been seen in well over 20 years at this point, so I'm gonna give him a much needed redesign and let's see what he look like. Okay, so unlike typical poses, I had to actually draw this pose out in a little bit more detail simply because I knew ahead of time that I would be drawing nunchucks. And from drawing a lot of nunchuck designs and then doing it a lot for some of my past webcomics, I know how off nunchucks can be if you don't have them lined up correctly. So I made sure to get the chucks in on the pose when I drew them at the start. So I have everything very, very much measured out in the beginning, getting the base pose in, and I even went elaborate with the details of the fingers and everything else. So going from there, it was designing the top hat, which I needed to do twice because the layer wasn't correct. But outside of fixing that, doing the top hats, I actually used a lot of Li Long's previous designs and just kind of combined them. Except for the bald look, I'm not a fan of that one, but I took the other two, the sort of orange getup that he had, and then the lime, or not lime green, but sort of the, I guess almost neon green look that he had, one of his 3 attires. And I used those to sort of make this one. So I used the gloves just straight up from that neon design, which was my favorite one in the game. So that was the biggest influence here. And then I gave him the same shoulder pads and sort of upper body outfit from that design too, like the shirt. The pants were designed similarly. I just took elements from the other ones to go ahead and do that. Now in the sketch phase, you probably can't tell how much of the design is almost like a tribute to his old ones, but as I color it, you'll definitely see it because I have to get a lot more detail in the design itself with the coloring, otherwise this would have looked plain as hell. So once I got everything figured out, it was on to that next phase of actually pinning down his color scheme. Before I get into that, I just want to let everybody know if you like the video so far, make sure you like and subscribe if you haven't. Also, just to let you know, I have a new webcomic that I've released on my website, www.shadassassins.com. Go ahead and feel free to support me on there and check it out. If not, I have a lot of links to various webcomics and other artwork in the links below, so feel free to check it out. Now back to the video. So like I said, the only thing that I knew that I wanted to go ahead and block in was his actual, like the green aspects of his outfit. So like I said, I love that attire from Soul Edge, so that was going to be my base for this design. So I hammered the green in and then went ahead and put in all the yellow, the orange from, I think, his Player 1 outfit in. Those were sort of my accents in this design. Then I designed the almost white and yellow dragon that he had. I don't know what that's supposed to look like and how it's supposed to read, just because those are textures from like 25 years ago. I can't make them out today. So I just went ahead and made up a brand new dragon design to use on his lower body and upper body. The lower body one is almost a new up-to-date version of it. Kind of freehanded the yellow and white dragon design. The one on the shirt, like I said, I couldn't make that out, so that was just, I made something up. Hopefully it reads, I don't know how it's going to read, but hopefully it mimics how the look felt in the original design. Sort of just all I was going for there. Plus, I didn't want to start going too crazy because there's a lot of different colors happening in this design too by the time I finish. Because thanks to the shirt, there's a lot of red that gets implemented into this as well. So what you have green, you have yellow, you have orange, you have red, you have white, you have dark blue, you have black. It's just a lot going on. And then the color of the straw hat too. I can't forget that as well. So coloring all that and getting the details in there and on the nunchucks, it was on to the shadows. Placing the shadows in on the design, like I said, it's the easiest, yet it's one of my favorite parts of doing these pieces. Though shading his face was kind of challenging because it's like how much of the shadows need to cover his face because of the hat. So I ended up needing to do that like a couple times. Even on the hair, I needed to go back and fix that as well. But then after the placing the shadows, I had to do the highlights for it, which I needed to do twice in 2 separate layers. One was sort of highlights and colors, and then the ones that I couldn't necessarily do because of the amount of detail I put into this, I had to do those in white, but it still worked. Everything came out as intended. And then from there, as usual, fixed the highlights, got all the metallic pieces of the shoulder pad sort of done in, did the specular highlights on them, and there you have it. Brand new, up-to-date 2024 Lee Long. Oh my God, it's weird saying 2024. But in any event, he's finished. And I think it looks cool, especially compared to the original sort of look from 1996. It's nice to have an updated version of this man. Like I said, I wish he was in the games instead of Maxi. I would love to play with a character that looked like this instead of whatever it is that Maxi is at this point. But that's just my thought process. I'd love to know what you guys think. Go ahead and let me know how you feel about the design in the comments below. And you all have a good one. And I'm out.